Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of the Nijigasaki review. I'm Callan.
And I'm Honey Panda Bunny. Overall, I thought it was super interesting to be able to finally see Setsuna's perspective on this, also through the lens of her being Nana as well. It was really nice to get this episode of her, and it felt like she grew from the beginning of the episode all the way to the end, and it also gave a nice little shine to everyone, even if it was just for a little moment or two.
I also agree. I thought that the episode overall was really strong, and I believe that they handled the Setsuna drama quite well. They did it in a very mature way, I found. As I mentioned in our previous review, I didn't feel that the Setsuna story would be resolved this quickly. As such, I feel the resolution of the episode is a little rushed. However, overall I think this was a really strong episode.
I really like that at the beginning of the episode they get right into sorting this Setsuna situation out. So most of the Idol Club, minus Casimir, they're talking to her, as well as Karen, discussing what's happened, and they let all their feelings known right at the beginning that they don't want the Idol Club to stop, and they want Setsuna to join them again because they thought they were only disbanding for a little while, not for a prolonged period. So they all each say why they want Setsuna there, but it's met with her dismissing them and thinking, well, they don't actually need me because I won't be any good for them.
Yeah, it goes into my idea that they portrayed this story, they did it very maturely, in the sense that everything was pretty much laid out on the table straight away. The Setsuna reveal, we had the other members of the group straight up admitting that no, we want Setsuna, we want you to continue with us, and her also admitting that she didn't disband it in like a negative, but she wanted them to continue on without her. I thought that the scene with Setsuna in her room was actually quite interesting because we got to see her mum. If they follow the story of the game, in particular, if Shioriko appears and her student council presidency gets brought into question, it will be quite interesting to see whether her mum is more in it.
And will react.
And then whether we'll see her father as well.
It was also interesting to see her put that chase outfit away and think she's going into closing this chapter of her life. As I saw it, is she was taking responsibility for the harm that she had done to others. Even if it was only minor in our viewpoint, clearly it meant a lot to her. That she doesn't want to force anyone into something that they don't want to do. That's not the point of being an idol. So it was really interesting to see the way that she took accountability for it.
One thing that was nice to see that was we got to see sort of the silly side of Nana in the, the chase scene where she's chasing Hanpen. And then we also get to see her kindness as well with Rina, which I thought was quite nice. We got to see the different aspects of that character. And interestingly enough, it does look like that Hanpen is going to be the animal mascot of the series. We also get to see Rina and Ai. They, at the moment, currently, they're the furthest away from joining the club. But I do like that this is being built nicely in the background. With the ending of the episode, it seems that that's going to lead into the next.
Yeah, it was nice seeing Hanpen almost kind of bring them all together.
Yeah, that is. I do like that we're crossing over the stories. It's done very...
Yeah.
I think they've done it very well.
And naturally.
I think my favourite scene of the episode was the scene in the piano room with you. So Nana hears someone playing in the piano room and it's you on the piano and is playing chase. I thought it was a real highlight. I love the framing of the scene. There was the lighting, there was like the darkness on the side of the piano, and then there's just the light coming in from the window, which I thought was really cool. That scene in the episode demonstrated the strengths of Yu's character because we get to see her interest in music, we get to see her starting to learn and wanting to create music. We get to see her fangirling over Setsuna to Nana, which was absolutely adorable. Anytime Yu starts fangirling, I think is a really good scene. The scene of Yu wondering why Setsuna had quit had such nice lighting to it, and I thought they handled it well with the because she doesn't at this point know that Nana is Setsuna, although she kind of suspects as we find out in a later scene. And overall I thought that was easily my favourite scene of the episode.
For me, I really liked the bit where she's playing the piano because after all, in the game, she is the songwriter and she's the one that plays the piano. So in all the previous ones, there's always been someone that plays the piano, and now we know that it's Yu. So
I did say that in our first episode review that, when Yu's getting out of bed, she has the design that just feels like someone that would create music. And it's cool to see she's starting to grow an interest in learning instruments and obviously that she still has quite a deep love of chases. That's the song that she's playing.
Yeah, that's what made her passionate about this. I really love the way that Yu reacts to Nana. It was exactly what we needed, seeing Nana's almost cool personality be melted away by Yu's over energy and over excitement. I also thought that when they were having this conversation, this might have actually been what Nana needed episode, she was hearing this perspective that she'd not even thought about yet. That was, I really enjoyed this person. Oh, I wish, like from a fan. She'd not heard from a fan. She'd only heard from her peers around her. And I think that that's what made her start questioning, because obviously in the scene after, she's playing chase and watching it and she's going, and she's almost reaffirming her own negative feelings and going, oh no, I can't actually do this. So I feel she needs you to be able to give her a perspective that no one else can give her.
About halfway through the episode, we get the scene with you, Ayumu, Kasumi, and then them meeting the other group, Karen and Emma, and the rest of them, and we get a bit of interaction there. What did you think about it?
I thought it was really cute, but also like really interesting. So I can't believe that no one realised that Nana and Setsuna are the same person.
Yeah, there was a big shock with Kasumi
at
the start with her face.
It was funny. It gave a nice laugh. And also Kasumi, her beginning of bribery.
Yeah, that is one thing I want to say about Kasumi, is that she has a way of maximising her screen time. Like every time she's on screen, she's doing always something very noticeable. We straight up, she's like, oh my god, Setsuna was Nana. And then you get the scene with Karen where Karen is sort of teasing her. Yeah. Like, and then she's bribed, so she's, oh, this scary lady here, you can have some bread. And then another thing with Kasumi is later on, obviously, when they're making the plan to get Setsuna and you alone, got the audio, and then Kasumi bribes the audio club with the bread.
She just keeps bribing everyone. It was also nice to see Karen and Emma have a little background moment with the bun.
Yeah, I do think it's an understated, really good bit of the overall anime is the background friendship of Karen and Emma, because at the start of the episode you have Karen specifically mention that, oh, I'm doing this for a very good friend, as she turns towards Emma, and then when she takes the bread off Kasumi, she breaks the bread
without saying anything. She breaks the bread and gives it to Emma.
It's like a background detail, and if you actually see, she actually breaks up a larger piece for Emma, whether that's her kindness or her watching her figure as she's a model, who knows.
And then there's also the bit where Kasumi mentions, oh, I didn't, because Shizuku says, oh, we tried to message you but you didn't get back to us. Originally going to go together, but Kasumi didn't see the message, and I was under the assumption that happened when she was performing actually for Ayumu and you, and she was so on the high from performing in front of them, even if it was just a little tiny performance, that she didn't even think about replying back, and I think that adds a little bit of
and also
her airheadedness kind of.
And to go back to Karen, at the end of the episode you sort of see Karen watching on. Very Nozomi thing where it feels she's sort of concocting her master plan, she's seeing it all unfold and walks away at the end feeling that her job had been
She's
done.
such a mom.
I do feel this was a slight negative of the episode, which was the other members of the group, Kanata, Shizuku, and Emma. I wish that they had more of a role in bringing Setsuna back into the fold, because at the start of the episode, they're very clear that Setsuna is a friend, they want her back, they want her to perform with them. But then as the episode goes on, they almost take on a onlooker kind of role. There's even the scene with Kasumi and the lot of them watching on as you and Setsuna have the talk at the end. Overall, I really, really enjoyed the episode, but the problem I have with it is it feels just a little bit rushed. There's so much happening over the course of one episode. You have the introduction to Setsuna's reveal as to why she broke up the club, and then in the same episode we're also seeing her be brought back into the fold. And it's a case where I feel like this would have been better done over 2 episodes.
I don't really mind you being the one to talk to Setsuna so much, since I feel like Setsuna really did need that third party that she'd not been previously involved in and needed to see the viewpoint of a fan. You had already had a deep conversation about Setsuna to her at this point, so I felt like she fitted the most. I would have liked to have seen the other girls and known their feelings, but they kind of already brought that into the beginning, except Kasumi, obviously.
I understand the outsider perspective, but the problem I had with it is that you and Setsuna had only one scene before it together. Don't get me wrong, that scene is my favourite one of the episode, but it's just not enough for me to feel that the others are like, oh no, we'll leave this all up to you, this person that we've only really just met. So far it's not been a problem until this episode, but I don't want you to be the one that fixes everyone's problems. With Ayumu, she kind of comes up to the realisation on her own, which I think is fine. And then with Kasumi, it's kind of a joint effort of you and Ayumu both helping her. But this one was purely you helping. And I really do not want her to be the sole person who fixes everyone's problems. One thing as well I really liked about that scene was Kasumi's maturity, and we got to see the growth that she had from, the previous episode. It gets brought back here as well. She mentions, she also wants Setsuna to come back. It's something that at the start of the episode, Setsuna says, oh, I hurt someone specifically. And then there's the flashback, obviously highlighting that it's Kasumi is the one that she hurt. And it's something I did mention previously, as I would have liked to have seen Kasumi and Setsuna have that reconciliation at the end. If in this episode it had been a joint effort, it had been you and Kasumi, I think would have really done well for their characters, because you get the growth of Kasumi in the second episode, you get the growth of Setsuna in the third episode, and then you could have brought it together. It would have fit quite nicely as a conclusion to both their stories. The end of the episode where the rest of the club has got Nana/Setsuna and you together on that balcony and they have the conversation. Setsuna's whole issue is that she feels that if she had continued, that she would have held back the other ones and they wouldn't have been able to make it to the Love Live. And then with you, she says to her that, you know, you don't have to be at the Love Live to be a school idol. You can just make music, have fans, as that is what you felt about school idols. Nana, she throws off the glasses, she puts down her hair, she stops being Clark Kent and she becomes Superman. And she jumps straight into her new song, Dive.
I really enjoyed this song. It felt very high energy. For me, it's above Popping Up. It was really good and I really enjoyed it. It had a lot of high energy. She felt if she'd had brakes on because of what happened in Chase, that she's broke them and she's going full force now. It has her usual rock sound, which is nice. And I really like the imagery of her diving deep down into herself to almost unlock what she'd been trying to hide at this point, which it came across really interesting for me. And then there's imagery of those colours that we saw in Chase coming back to Dive, but they're coming back together. So if Chase was about her last chance to inspire others and her falling apart from being Setsuna, this is Setsuna coming back and igniting that light and inspiring herself to keep going again.
For me, this is a step up from Popping Up, though I think I still prefer Dream With You. The visuals are definitely an upgrade, and it tells Setsuna's journey quite well. I love the idea that Setsuna is the part of her that she's buried deep down within inside her, and you see her in the white dress. In my opinion, she actually looks quite like Dia from Aquas, and she goes down and she's sort of reclaiming the part of her that she buried, which I think it's told very wonderfully in the imagery. The performance was great. Setsuna's voice actress is obviously one of the stronger performers of the group, but the problem I do have is that a lot of her follow-up songs, it always feels like they're trying to recapture that magic of Chase, but they've never been able to quite do it. I do wish that she would just try something a little different. This one in particular, they all tend to have very similar themes, that idea of always chasing your dreams, igniting your passions, running forward. They all sound great, it's just, I just wish there was a bit more diversity in her song. The imagery that we see when she's dancing and performing is based on like a stage. The bits at the back, the fire in front, and you've got the banner in the back, and you've got the mix of water and fire.
And you've got like the rail.
The dance choreography was, I thought, very simplistic. Compare this to Ayumu's and Kasumi's in the previous two episodes. There's a lot of dynamic moving, and this was it was almost like she was dancing within a square, and I just would have maybe preferred a little bit more motion in it. But overall, this was a very good performance.
Yeah, I think it was a really good one as well.
And while the two previous performances were intimate, you know, they were done for one or two people, this was a much larger
audience.
Yes, and we have the entire school dancing and rocking out just to show like how extra Setsuna is. And we also see Rina and Ai in the crowd. Those two in particular seem particularly wowed by the performance.
Which is what I think leads into the next episode of them joining. Totally fits that Setsuna would do it for a huge crowd, whereas the other would do it for quite a small, intimate one. She's already out there, she's big, she wants the world to know her voice and everyone to hear it.
And then we come to the final scene at the end, with nearly the entire club assembled. I do wish that the other characters did have more of a role in bringing her back, because I do feel that it's a little bit unearned at the end with them all together. However, it is a really nice way of concluding the episode. While I did wish that this was a two-parter, that this had a little bit more room to breathe, that we had more chances for more characters to get involved with this story, also glad that this was resolved and that we're moving on to more things as well.
You'll win either way for us, basically.
This episode was a double-edged sword in that it did everything that I wanted. I could have also done with maybe a little bit more. The next episode appears to be Ai's episode.
I can't wait.
Ai is your favourite.
I'm so excited. She is my favourite. I love her so much. The next episode is probably going to be a training one, because I feel at this point I and maybe Rina are going to join. I feel like she's going to join them, or maybe she'll go into it even wanting to help train them a little bit to keep their stamina up, since she's so good at sports.
So it could be that she was inspired by Setsuna at the end of the episode. I'm very interested in the episode. One, I'm really excited to see actual club activity activities. You see Kasumi with the board, and seemingly there's going to be some fun training wacky hijinks, which I'm quite looking forward to. But then also I'm interested to see what they do with Ai's character, because Ai is a character that in the games we very rarely see a vulnerable side to her, so I'm interested to know what they do to tell her story.
I think it'll be really interesting no matter what happens. Even if it means it's going to expand on her relationships with ones that she already has in the group, or if it's going to be something new where we see a sadder side of her maybe, or a side that's struggling. I also feel like they've joined at different levels at this point. For me, I think that Karen's joined, but I feel like she's joined to almost keep watch, to make sure that the peace is kept. Almost like a peacemaker, because she doesn't want to see her friend go through what's happened before already. And I believe that because of obviously, I think she's in her training outfit along with them.
Currently, Love Live Nijigasaki, it's not missed a beat so far. We've had 3 episodes. I think all 3 episodes have been really good. I've been slightly critical with these last 2 episodes, but that's just because I love Love Live.
If you're critical about it, it means you love it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I didn't appreciate it, if I didn't love it, it wouldn't be something that I'd spend time thinking. I just want the best for these characters, and that's why I overthink it sometimes.
I really, really enjoyed it. I've loved the comedy so far. I've really loved all the storylines and how it doesn't ever feel like anything's being dragged out, even if it is taking a slower time with some things than others. I've come to appreciate the series even more these last couple episodes.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for hearing us ramble again.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.